We're going to put a mirror finish on this piece of precious metal clay. This piece has been fired and burnished, but you can see that it's not completely smooth. And if I put this in the tumbler and polish it up, it's just going to polish up the high spots and leave all these low spots. So what I need to do is we're going to sand down the surface, make it smooth, and then put a mirror polish on it. And this is really simple. We're going to start with a 220 grit sandpaper. This is just a wet dry sandpaper that I've wrapped around a paint stick. This one's on its last wrap. I usually take a long piece and wrap it around and around and around and then staple it. And this takes off quite a bit of material. So this is 220 is all that's really necessary for a piece like this. Now I'm sanding in a forward motion. I don't go back and forth. I just go forward only. And I do a little bit, turn it, do a little bit, turn it. What I need to do is I need to get out every pit and every scratch and every little imperfection, because to have a mirror finish, it means it has to be completely smooth. So this area here, there's got low spots and I need to sand down below that. So I'm going to continue sanding until I get the surface just the way that I like it. So I'm going to sand and turn and sand and turn. Now see this spot right here, that little pit is going to show up forever. It'll never come out in my further stages. So I need to get that pit out right now. And there it's gone. So now I can continue. Don't move on to your next grid of paper until you're completely done. Now I've sanded the top surface flat and smooth, and now what I'm doing is I'm just doing the edges with my 220 grit as well. And then it's time to move on to my 400 grit 3M polishing paper. And I can do this by hand this way, but what I like to do is take a napkin and fold it up in a few places, and then just take my piece and run it in a figure-8 motion. And what this does is that thickness of the paper towel is going to get up around those little edges there. And what I need to do is I need to continue polishing this piece until all of my previous lines from my previous sanding are gone. And you have to do this in a figure-8 pattern, because that's the only way that you get an even sanding and even polishing on all sides. So I've got the napkin that's folded in half. I'm running my piece in a figure-8 motion. Now it's time to move on to the next paper. And I just do this, I repeat the same thing for each grid of paper. The order that you want to do this in is green, gray, blue, pink, mint, and then the very pale green. So now I'm getting pretty shiny here. It's not quite shiny enough. I still have a couple of grits to go. Again, figure-8. Speed isn't necessary. It's just you want to have enough rounds to get it shiny, to get it nice and polished. And I have 2 more grits to go. You see, this is really not hard at all. And this is really the best way to get a mirror finish. And now my final piece, which figure-8 motion. And let's see. And that's a beautiful finish. But I'm not quite done. I have one more step, and that is my final polish, which is my Selvet polishing cloth. You can use the treated types, or you can use the Selvet, the traditional English polishing cloth, but there it is.